I was muted. Sorry about that. Hey, everybody. It is Kate Richburg, and it is Wednesday, November 6th. How you doing? I know that, as you know, yesterday was, I'm just going to talk about the elephant in the room just for a minute, then we're going to get on to it. As you know, yesterday was election day here in the U.S., so I wanted to say that however you're feeling today, joyous, not so joyous, tired, rough, not tired, right? Wherever you fall on this spectrum, I want you to know that today I am thinking about gratitude. I'm thinking about gratitude for you, for us, for our lovely team, because all we can do, my friends, is choose how we're going to be. So, on that note, I want to say that here, when we gather at the bead table, you are gathering at a place of inclusivity, of creativity, and of safety. That's it. So, the time that we spend together, I cherish, and we are going to do our best to stay focused and joyous and creative. All right? That's what we've got. So, my darlings, on that note, I have a great show for you today. Today, we're going to choose some joy. We have some giveaways. We have some masterclass with wire. I am going to share some of my joy with beading, etc., with you, and we're going to do it. We're going to have a good time. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So this is what I've got. And I want to show you what this is. You know what these are. If you have been watching us for a while, or if you are a fan of Beadshop, right, you know that in my hand, I have some mixes. Okay. And these mixes, I'm going to do a giveaway. We also have a sale. So let me show you these first. First, let me do this. Let me put my glasses back on. Okay. Let's see. Let me show you. We have right here, right now, and you saw this, I put this up earlier. I did a little wire discount for you folks because, as you know, this is part 5 of my masterclass. My mom just walked in. Hello, Gwenda.
Hi. I thought maybe you needed your mother.
Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. My mom's here too. It's all here. It's a super party. We're all good. So we've got a wire deal for you today, since this is part 4 of our masterclass, my friends. So today only on 11/6, you can enter wire at checkout. Now, if you saw that the wire is the item of the week this week, so it's marked off 10%. We've added 15% on top of that, so you'll save 25%. Then you're going to save 15% on head and eye pins and ear wires on this. All right, so giving you a little bit of joy with wire and head pins. Super good times. So we're also hang on, I don't, my mom is like sidling up on me, so I don't know what's this. Oh, it's a gift. Oh, my mom brought me a gift. What is it? Oh, look, my mom brought me a gift. This is crazy. This is crazy broadcast today. Look at this. It's a new coffee cup for my coffee. I love it.
Oh, cute.
How cute this is.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. I'll show you this. All right. All right. Thank you. Oh yeah. You just sit here and work. My mom's going to sit here and work. I'll show you that. Okay. So we've got that. Yeah. She's pretty precious. I know it is super pretty. I'm going to wash it and put some more coffee in it. Let me add my other camera and you can see what else we're going to do today, my friends. I found, so as you know, we're getting ready to do our mystery bags. Finally, I know you're waiting. I know, my friends. We've got the mystery bag orders right on the wall, right over there. We're going to start doing them this afternoon into tomorrow. And Miranda has been working on sorting and sorting and sorting all of our stuff for the mystery bags. Okay. So we are, so I looked through the stuff, right? So what I found was I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our monthly mixes. Let me pull this back so you can see it. Let me do this. Let me move my mug out of the way. And I thought I would do some giveaways today because, you know,
Today is special.
today is a good day. We're going to have a good day today. We're going to have a good day. So we are going to give these away. You know how I give things away here, right? We do a comment. So our comment is, let me get this up here. So first of all, let's go with, we've got this one today only, 11.6. You're going to enter wire at checkout, save 25% on wire. It's already marked down 10. So with this 15% discount, it'll combine to 25 and 15% on head and eye pins and ear wires. That offer is valid until midnight Pacific time tonight on 11/6/24. In-store merchandise only, my friends. Okay. So then you can comment. Our comment this time is #wire to win a throwback monthly mix from beadshop.com. And the thing about these monthly mixes, folks, what I'm going to share with you today with wire, it's great for seed beads, for oddly shaped beads, for stuff like that. So this is so apropos. Let's take a little walk down memory lane, shall we, with these. I'm going to leave these up and we're going to you guys already know what to do, right? I love it. So many comments coming in. Right already. We've got a giveaway tool. Whoops. Let me try and refresh this page. Bear with me. And let me do that. And there we go. All right. We've already got 53 entries. I love it. Love. So let's take a look at these monthly mixes, shall we? They're so terribly pretty. Well, some of them are monthly mixes and some of them are special mixes. So you remember Sorbet Punch from January 2024? I found one of those in our mix bag, right? So I've got one of those to give away. And I'm going to do 5 drawings. These aren't going to go to one person. They're going to go to 5 different people. And then I'll send them out to you. Miranda and I will send them out to you later today. This was our monthly mix, the biggest monthly mix of all time that we did. Remember, I did this one in July called Midsummer Midnight. This was July 2023. And this one was all ADOTs. I had to remake this one, I think 3 times I remade this. It was such a hit. So I found one. I've got one of these. Okay. So that's this one. This one is Kelp. Right? This was the special one that I did in August 2024 when Cynthia was here. So I found one of those. Then you guys remember this one? This was another. This was like your favorite one of your favorites. Melange, October 2023. Remember how this was all those really beautiful iridescent colors and it had cubes and Tyla beads and bugles. So I've got one of those. And then this was my birthday mix. This was, what do we call this? Gin and tonic, I think is what we called it this September. So I've got these 5.
Caught my attention.
Yeah, my mom's all gin and tonic. What? Too early. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to go, let's go from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start off with this one, Sorbet Punch. I'm going to draw right now for this one. We've already got, let me add this in, and then I promise we'll get to the wire. Okay, I promise you. But I just thought it'd be fun to do a little giveaways today, right? What do we have? We have 85. I love it. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being great in these comments. We want to keep everything upbeat today for sure. So let's go ahead, and this will be for the sorbet punch. So let me go over here, and I'm going to hit draw. So let's see. Sorbet punch goes to... That's hilarious. It goes to me. It chose me.
What?
Actually,
Choose you.
I have no idea. So,
What, is that the gin and tonic?
no,
I think I'm gonna draw again.
I'm going to draw again because this will now exclude me. Obviously, I have this running on my other stream. Let me take it right. I love it. Let me, yeah, you know what? I love this. So maybe I'll keep it. No, I'm just kidding. I have one in the archives. Let me redraw. Hold, please. And you know how these drawings go. There we go. I'm going to draw this again. When we do the drawing, you can enter as many times as you want, but it's only going to pull you out once. So let's see. Let's try this again. Angela, much better. I have one in the archives. I so don't need to keep it. But Angela, you are the winner of Sorbet Punch. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to screenshot you here. Everybody who is a winner, just a reminder, my friends, go ahead and email us, pardon me, at info@beadshop.com just to confirm your mailing address. And we'll get these out today. So Angela, let me get my Post-it notes and put your name on this one. I'm going to draw one more right now. We'll draw one in the middle, and then we'll draw two more at the end. Okay? So I'm going to do this. Let's draw this again. Oh, and this one will be for Midsummer Midnight. Sorry, I've got my coffee in there. Lynn, you were the winner of Midsummer Midnight. Let's do this. Okay, so I need to write this down on my Post-it. Angela Keene. Yay! And then I've got you, Angela, on here. And Lynn, I'll put you, I'm going to put these right back here. I'm going to put the Post-it on yours. Okay, now we'll get to some wire. And then we will we'll do some more drawings in a bit, but we'll get to some wire work. Okay, so love it. All right, let me take this out. Let me I want to add this necklace in because I want to talk about it. And let's get to wire. So, oh, Angela, I'm so happy. Excellent. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, we have almost 200 people watching. My friends, thank you so, so much for being here today. That's awesome. So, okay, so you can keep commenting wire. I'll do another drawing in a little bit. And just a reminder, my darlings, for today only, when you enter wire at checkout, because this is going to be wire, well, obviously it's wire heavy. It's masterclass number 4. All of our wire in stock is on sale. It's already marked down as the item of the week, but you add that 15% to it and it'll equal out at 25% off. And we're doing all of our earring findings, head pins, eye pins, and ear wires, because the components and things that I'm doing today for you really lend themselves beautifully to earrings. Okay, so let's get down to it. Here we go. So let me zoom out a bit. Now, this is a gorgeous necklace, and I did not make it. This was a friend of mine. Ma, you remember Dixie when we used to do the whole bead show? You remember Dixie? She was a lady who used to help out there and take classes and stuff. You might remember
Yes,
Dixie.
I do.
Yes. Well, Dixie, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but she was a wire maven, and she gifted me this piece. And I have it up always on my inspiration board. And she was a big fan of Lynn Merchant. Okay. And for those of you who have been doing wire since the 90s, isn't it pretty? Those of you who've been doing wire since the 90s might be familiar with Lynn Merchant. Now, Lynn Merchant started her wire career at the Shepherdess in San Diego, which is no more. It was a fantastic store, really great for classes. Lynn is still around. I don't think she's doing a lot of teaching or anything really, but she really is the OG of wire workers and wire wrappers. So Dixie, who also lived here in California, took several classes with Lynn. I met Lynn on the teaching circuit. She was super inspiring, Emma. Same, super inspiring. She was really great with all of her wire and stuff. And this has some vintage German glass beads here, and it's all done in sterling. Back in the day when sterling was pretty inexpensive. So do you need a plier, a round nose?
Can I use these?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I think my mom is working on some of her earrings for her Christmas boutique, which I'll give a plug for later on if you're in the Fresno area. Okay, so let's talk about this necklace and the things that are in it and some of the things that I'm going to share with you, kind of my take on all of this today. We're going to talk about coils and coil beads. Can you see this? This coil bead, this is something, and I know Emily is out there and watching as well. This is a bead that I know that Emily has done before. We've done this before. This is what's called a Kuchi coil, Kuchi coil bead. It's a very, very old school, kind of has that Middle Eastern flair. These beads have been made for literally hundreds of years, right? So we're going to talk about this bead. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Or I think it was with, maybe it's with an O, Cindy. Right. I thought it was KU, but maybe it's KO. I can't remember. But anyway, familiar to those of you who have been doing wire for a while. We're also going to talk about these coils down here and how handy these guys are. Okay. We're also going to talk about frames and shapes. Now, take a look, my friends, at this wire connection right here. Okay. It is a jump ring, right? That I think was just made from scratch. And then it was and then it's wrapped around with the coil, right? Super cool. So we're going to talk about some components, frames and shapes. We're also going to do something that's not in here, and I think I'll have time for it. We're going to do kind of some more advanced stuff next month as well. So what I don't hit on this month will hit on next month as well. But we're going to talk about the herringbone weave. Two people in my beading life have done this very, very well. My buddy Lisa from over at Baubles and Beads, she did that herringbone a lot. And my buddy Chris Silva, who did a lot of really great wire and who used to teach for us back in the day at Beadshop.com or Beadshop when we were brick and mortar, as well as over in my store at Beadissimo in San Francisco. So we're going to talk about that herringbone. And then we're also going to talk about embellishing. We're going to touch on kind of my signature piece, which is that embellished disc. Okay, so we may run over today a little bit, but I hope you'll stick with me today. Okay. But again, this piece was from my buddy Dixie, who unfortunately is no longer with us. Of course, and Emily, thank you so much for that. Our buddy Lisa Niven Kelly, Lisa Niven Kelly was truly one of the, again, OGs of the wire making world. If you go over to beadeducation.com, as you know, I used to be the director of education over there. And Lisa has a lot of great wire content over there as well. So, wire is pretty awesome, right? So there's a lot of great resources. Janice, I also saw that Janice shared Lynn Merchant's Pinterest board, which I love. I love seeing that. So that's a cool place to take a look. And while we're talking about Pinterest, etc., let me just put this up real quick about our social. You know that you can find our community and be a part of our community in a lot of different places across the internet. You can find us on Facebook, our really fantastic Facebook group called the Bead Table. We'd love to see you over there sharing your creations. You can find us on Instagram with a lot of great Insta content over there. And if you make anything and you post it to your Insta, go ahead and give us a shout out at beadshop.com so we can share that as well. We have some Pinterest boards that are really inspirational as well. And of course, if you're watching us live or on replay on YouTube, please hit that like, follow, and subscribe button so you never miss any content from us. Okay. So let's work on this coil bead. Let's just jump right in. Okay. I'm going to zoom into this. Now this, again, as I said, was all done in sterling. And, Dixie probably made this, I'm going to say 94, maybe. So is that 30 years ago? Was 1994 30
Yes.
years ago?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay, perfect. So sterling was a little less expensive than it is now. But yeah, Debbie McGee, you spotted that I'm wearing that Danielle Wicks bracelet. I am. I totally am. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of these because they're so super fun. I'm going to make it out of, I don't know, maybe I should make it out of an antique wire. So this base, as long as, the rule of thumb is, as long as the base of the wire that you're wrapping around is a heavier gauge than what you're wrapping over it, you'll be golden. So I'm going to get some 20 gauge, I think, is what I want. Let me see if I can find some 20. To be honest, I have not sorted my wire in a bit, so it's in a bin.
Here's some, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not what I want. It's close. Let me see. Here's 22 gauge. I could use 22. There's 22, and I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use antique copper, and I'm going to use antique copper in 20, and then I will wrap it. At least I think I'm going to use it in 20. Hold on, I know it's here. My kingdom for some 20 gauge wire. Hold, please. There's 22. There's 26. I know, it's like watching paint dry. Sorry about that, everybody. Miranda, will you just please get me, for the love of wire, I need 20 gauge. And I will take antique copper. No, I'll take antique bronze. Yes.
Good choice.
That's what I want. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. My wire bin needs some serious love. I don't know what your wire looks like, but I can't show it to you because it's so bad. I've got a lot of 22 gauge. Here's some more 24 right there. Okay. So it is. It's so the shepherdess, Dawn. It's so the shepherdess, right? The shepherdess really was, when I first started out doing doing the class directorship over at Beadshop, the Shepherdess was someone that I would definitely look to see what they were up to and what they were doing. And that was such a great bead store in San Diego. I think actually Lisa Kelly may have even worked at the Shepherdess way back in the day.
They had a really great catalog or class.
Yeah, class
something
schedule.
they
Yeah,
said,
you remember? Yeah, it was really, really cool. So I will, Kim Crawford, I will post this piece over on our Beadshop bead table. So you can see it, right? Just anything. Yeah, anything in 20. Okay. Copper's fine too. Antique copper or regular copper. I don't, whatevs. I also have, Miranda, I don't think we've unpacked it yet, but we've got some of the wire that we haven't unpacked. But anything in 20 is fine. Oh, okay. Anything in 20 is fine. So yeah, I will go ahead and post this in the group for you. Okay. So yeah, it was a really great inspiration for sure. The Shepherdess was. So let's go with, maybe I'll use this 24 gauge, right? So yeah, this coil, and maybe I'll use the 22. I'll use the 22 and we'll do over this one. And I'm going to make a small one. Okay. And I know the 20, right? Thank you. Oh, and this one, this one here, Emma's asking about this. Will I show you how to make that spiral coil of wire going around the purple bead? I will. You know what? What I'll do is I'm going to table this for the next broadcast, because twisting wire, I'm going to show you how to do this. It takes a little bit bigger of a setup than I have here today, but I'm going to write myself a note. That'll be fun. Twisted wire. Okay. Perfect. It's on my list. And then Debbie, for sure, the level of expertise in this necklace is so timeless and so impressive. I agree. Hollis, thank you so much for watching. You know that for those of you who are regular watchers, you can find us every Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Great place to find us is right on the beadshop.com YouTube channel. I also broadcast it a lot of times on my personal YouTube, which is the Kate Richburg Jewelry Educator YouTube channel. But also go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss a beat with what we're doing. Okay. All right. I know I get super giddy about all of this. So here's this 20. Let me actually use this 20 gauge here. So here's the copper, and I'm going to kind of wing it because I haven't made one of these beads in a while. So Emily, I might call on you, but I'm going to measure out, I don't know. I'm going to use this ruler. This is about 6 inches. That's what I'm going to measure out. Okay. So let's go ahead and cut this 20 gauge off, and we're going to wrap this 20 gauge with some, I think I'm going to use 24, and I think I'm going to make this 2-colored. I'm going to use the 24 in this vintage bronze so we can kind of see the difference. Okay. And I'm going to just use this right off the coil. Now, the way to get this started, it's pretty simple. I'm going to leave maybe about 1 inch or so right here. Okay. And I'm going to start wrapping. And I need to kind of get this started. And I'm going to grab my wire straightening plier, my nylon jaw plier, right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see this kind of tight. Oh my gosh, almost 200 people watching. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate that you're here. Right, so see that, how I'm wrapping? Okay. And so, Karen, I'll agree. You know, my wrists, my friends, aren't what they used to be either, to be honest. And Karen's saying, it's been years since I've wrapped beads or coiled wire. My wrists aren't what they were. Same. Let me show you. I'm going to zoom out just for a second. Take a last swig of coffee there. Let me zoom out. There we go. So you can kind of see what's happening. This is 20 gauge wire here. Okay. And this is 24 gauge wire over the top. Now you can use just about any gauge as long as the base wire is heavier than the wire that you're wrapping with. Okay. So I'm going to come in. So what I do here, Karen, is I'm resting. Can you see that there? I'm resting this hand on the tabletop like this. And my plier that's holding this tight, the plier is pushing against the table. So it's helping my plier grip. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm also going to cut. Usually I like to work off the spool, but it's a little hard to maneuver it underneath the camera. So this is, I don't know, it's almost a wingspan of wire. It's a lot of wire. But see how I'm not even really gripping this wire all that tightly like this, but I'm keeping my hand as stable as I can on the base, on my table. And as I go, I just push the little coils tighter along. So let me zoom in a little bit now so you can see me get a little tighter there. Now, if I've got space here, I'm going to push that in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put that down. I'll push this in along what I've got here. Okay, so it makes your coil nice and small. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Let me do this. Let me show you here. Let me add myself to this because I want to show you also kind of how, when I have a really big piece of wire, kind of how I do it. I'm going to do it here at Kate Speed. I'll continue to hold this kind of hard under my camera. So see, I'm holding this. I'm right-handed. So this is in my non-dominant hand. Okay. Here's my right hand. And I have my hands work together. And see how I'm keeping this wire at a right angle as I'm wrapping. And I'm keeping my eye on the wire. I'm not especially gripping this wire all that tight, right? I kind of have it here in my hand here. You can even kind of tension it a little bit with your little finger. I know, isn't it just a bummer that your hands kind of start to go, right? I mean, I'm 58 and my hands are not what they used to be. It's great. No, neither my eye. I don't know. Back in my day when I used to do a lot of wire wrapping, but it is true. And so, I don't know. It doesn't really sometimes have to do with your age. Sometimes our hands just don't work as well as you want them to. But see how I'm inching down the wire straightener here so that the coil is going through it. So it's helping to keep everything, and I've got my computer in front of me here. I can kind of lean it up almost against my computer here to kind of hold it so it holds it stable. But I'm going to keep wrapping here like so. And as I am fixing this, whoops, my wires, wrapping it. As I'm wrapping it, I'm kind of fixing that coil, right? So wrap. And with my right hand, I'm kind of pushing towards the left as I wrap. Okay. And again, my little finger, my whole hand is kind of holding this plier. So I'm not pinching it with these two hands. Okay. So do some modifications, you know, whatever works for you, right? I'm going to slide it up. And that's really the secret, my friends, is getting this plier to hang on to the coil like this. So as you're wrapping, it stays nice and straight. Okay. There we go. I'm going to wrap just a little bit more. This is going to be a smaller bead. Let me get myself back under the camera here so you can see this. Let me zoom out just a little. See, so you can see I'm a little over an inch. You can make these beads as large or as small as you want it to be, right? Like that. So let's keep going. Coil. This 24 gauge is really malleable. Can you see how malleable this is? And every like 5 or 6 wraps, I move my nylon jaw plier up, okay, to cover the spiral. So you can see I've got this going on here. I've got a little bit of space here. So I'm going to try and push this all in. Yeah, there you go. See, and if you're not wrapping it like super tight, I mean, it's tight, but it's not like I'm trying to choke this wire at all, right? So I'm going to hold this and I'm going to wrap this around. Okay. Just like that. Now this will be a nice size for earrings. Let me go just a little bit longer and I will measure this for you. Okay, there we go. You could, so the wire gizmo, Debbie, that's a great question. You know, I have like the wire gizmo. It's the wire, what do I want to call it? The wire tool that helps you do these coils. You certainly could use it. You could also, if you had heavier gauge, this is a little thin of a gauge to stand up to it, but you could also use your drill and put this mandrel, you know, this wire like a mandrel in your drill and turn it so it spins and this wire will coil over the top of it, right? I used a wire, a drill a lot for coiling up my wire. So yeah, so Susan, the nylon jaw pliers aren't mashing anything. Number one, I'm not squeezing it super hard, right? But also, can you see, I mean, those nylon jaw pliers, I mean, they're not soft like a mattress, but they're fairly soft, right? So they hold everything really nicely. So yeah, you're good to go with that. Let me, now this little tip, that little end, I'm going to come in and I'm going to push this kind of down and around, right? So let's take a look at what the length is of my coil. Okay. What do I have here? Just under 2. I'm going to make this 2 inches. Yeah, a pin vise, Kim, would also work. And you know, our bead reamer tool, I don't know if we still carry the bead reamer, but the bead reamer, I think we do. The bead reamer also works as a pin vise. And what a pin vise is it's kind of like a chuck that's on the end of a drill, and you put your wire down in there to hold it, and then you can hold it and twist it as well. I love a pin vise. I use them a lot in my metalsmithing world. Okay, this should make up that 2 inches. Tighten everything up. So again, this is 20 gauge is the base, and this is 20 4 gauge is what I wrapped. Okay. So let me get a little tighter. Oh, and good to know. Thanks, Terry, for checking. We still do have the reamer. Good to know. Let me come in. I'm going to cut this away. And I don't know. I still have a bunch of this wire left. I could probably make one more of those here, like this. So let's tighten that in. Okay. So now, the way that I do this is how I do these, is I get my round nose plier, and I'm going to start coiling the top of this, okay, like so. Then I'm going to, I can either move this to a mandrel or keep it, it's a mandrel right here. I can kind of keep it on my round nose. But I'm going to come in and just wrap it. Okay, and see how this is kind of a nice short. You okay? Okay. I think my mom dropped something. Look at how cute that little short little coil is.
Yeah.
So use
I can't find it. It's okay.
Use a nice, either a mandrel, a knitting needle, something. Start that coil with the bare wire, then coil up whatever it is that you have wrapped, and then finish that coil. I'll put it back. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut it about right there. And I'm going to coil this up. Yeah, you could use a wooden skewer, a dowel, anything. What I find, though, about wood is that your wire can bite into the wood, and it's kind of hard to take it off. So just remember to be a little lighter-handed when using wood. But look at this little charmer of a coiled bead. Can you see that? Let me scoot in a little tighter. Look at that. Now, this is a perfect earring size. Let me get a head pin. Let me just grab a random bead that we have sitting around here. Someone, do I have a bead? Someone, anyone? What do I want to use?
There are like 10 bazillion beads here.
I know, I do.
How come why it's so hard to choose?
I know, it's so hard to choose. Look at these. I've got, oh, this one. This is what I want. Looky. Looky. Let me. All right. Remember I had these little beauties in, I still have some of these in the Beadshop studio. Right? And I put this on. Now the coils are kind of big. See that down there? So we need to stabilize it. So I'm going to get a smaller bead to sit on the top to stabilize everything. Let me see. I've got these melons, these 6mm melons here. This is also, I love these 6mm. Take a look. Oh, come on. That is darling. Darling. You know what also might look good? Hang on. Hold the phone. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put this there. I want something that's going to fit like right. Hold, please. I have something. I need like a 4mm bead. Well, you're picking up what I'm putting down. I don't need to finish it up. You could see it. I need to move on to our next demo. But look at how cute this is, right? Right? Love it. Love, love, love. Yeah, I love, thanks, Jennifer. I do love this drop for sure. And it looks great just like this. I think I might even like it better like that with a little bead, that 6 mil on the top, but I actually think maybe a 4 mil might look a little bit better. I'm looking to see what kind of detritus I have here on my table, but Christine cleaned up so well during cleaning that I don't have as many random beads around as I used to. But look at how great that looks, right? Love. And this also looks great as a dangle on the bottom of a dangle too, right? Like you can make a dangle like this, and then you can just wire wrap that and put that below, right? So this one, let me show you this original one that's in Dixie's necklace. Can you see how that's a little bit larger? So this is 2 inches, this one, of wrapped wire, okay? So this bead probably is about 4 to 5 inches of wrapped wire right here is what I'm thinking, okay? So that's that one. There was a question earlier, Amy, about, I think Amy asked it, would that be the same way as we would do something like this? And yes, precisely, it would be. Okay, so let me show you. Let me make one of these components. Okay, let me show you that. Before we do, though, let's go ahead. I'm going to tell everybody, remember, we're doing some giveaways today. I've got 3 more to give away, and I think it's time to give away the kelp mix that I made when Cynthia was here. So don't forget to comment #wire in the comments, and I am going to choose that in just a moment. And you can join our winners, Angela and Lynn. So we'll do this one next. Okay. And also, my friends, don't forget, today only, I did a little special coupon code for you folks. Enter wire at checkout. That wire coupon will stack with the sale that we've got on our wire spools, so it'll end up being 25% off. And then on head and eye pins and ear wires, you'll save 15%. And it's good tonight until midnight. And it's only on this broadcast. We haven't advertised it anywhere else. So great. You folks are all commenting wire. Awesome. I'm going to add this back to the stage. That was our last winner. Lynn was our last winner. So let's go ahead and choose another, shall we? For this one. Okay, who's it going to be? Clem, you're the winner, my friend. Let me screenshot you. Let me put you on a Post-it. And give us a quick, though I think everybody who's won so far, I think we've got you in our database. Go ahead and, just so that I can confirm, email us over at info@beadshop.com. I've got 2 more to give away, my friends. We'll do that at the end of the broadcast. Okay. Awesome. All right. I'm putting you here with your Post-it note on it. All right. So now, someone also mentioned about wire wrapping when you took your class from Lynn Merchant all those years ago, that Lynn had you stand up. Same. I was standing up doing that whole time. I do a lot of my work actually standing. I do all of my metalsmithing standing, all of that. I just feel like, I don't know, it counts as some steps on my watch, and I feel like it just keeps me a little bit more limber, right? And yes, if you have already commented, really great point there, Mary, you don't need to enter again. And if you only enter once, don't worry, it'll keep you It's still collecting the names in the broadcast. So not to worry. You'll be entered for these next 2 drawings. All right, let's do that component. Okay. So let's take a look at that. So now we've done this one. I'm going to do this one kind of quickly because we've got some more things to get to, but this is frames and shapes. Now, frames and shapes, I'm going to use a heavier gauge. I think I'm going to use an 18 gauge. My mom is making earrings over there. She's making earrings for her holiday boutique. Coming up this weekend at the Clovis First Memorial United Methodist Church. That's right. It's on Pulaski in Clovis, California. My mom has a bunch of stuff that she's donated to the boutique. It's really fun. It's a fun time. Oh, can I show people your magnets? Whoops. Look how cute. My mom has made, we'll have to put some of these things up. Look at, my mom also made these. Aren't these cute magnets that she made? She's super crafty. All kinds of fun stuff. But right now she's making earrings.
Maybe we should stick one in with the mix.
Oh, maybe. Maybe
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
All right. What's the question? Is the coil around the bead? What's that question? Oh, here we go, Nancy. Is the larger coiled bead hollow inside? It is hollow. This one? It is hollow. And then there is a wire that is used just to wire wrap it. Okay, but it's hollow just like this one. Okay. Oh, Laurel, I do it. I mean, this is what I'm good at, being crafty with beads. PAMC and metalsmithing ages ago. I just love PMC. Someday I'll get back to doing some metal clay. I just love metal clay. Right, Emily Miller? We love metal clay. Okay. So let me make a shape. I'm going to use 18 gauge for this one. Okay. 18, maybe I'm lying to you. This is 16 gauge is what this is. Janice is asking how the wire bead gets larger in the middle. Great question, JP. So as you're wrapping it, I'll finish with this. Like I did this one when I was wrapping it around the mandrel, right? I'll wrap. Then what I'll do is I'll kind of unfurl it a little bit this way, and it'll kind of make itself shape into this bicone. Does that make sense? So wrap. Hold it, turn it a little, and that'll make this into the bicone shape. Okay. Here's one that's with heavier. This is actually coiled. Look at this one. This is coiled with a coiled wire. Can you see that? Look at how cool that is. Again, Lynn Merchant, all based on Lynn Merchant's designs, made by my friend Dixie. I did not make this one. But look at, this is a coiled wire, and then that coiled wire is wrapped, and then the bead is made. Really gorgeous, right? Gorgeous. This actually has wire on the inside, no bead, just a wire coming up through and then wire wrapping it. That's it. So, okay. Shapes and frames. This is 16 gauge right here. And all you need, yeah, twisted wire. Did I say coiled? I meant twisted. That's just a twist. And then that twist is wrapped around. This, I'm going to cut about 4 inches worth of wire right here. And I'm just going to shape a component. Now, I'm going to use just my regular chain nose. And I'm going to use the side of this chain nose to help me form that frame. Okay, so see how it makes that nice bend? I'm going to come here, bend. Sorry, I'm a little out of focus. I'm going to go a little further out. I'm going to come here, bend, and I'm going to come here and bend. So see how I have overlap here? That's what you want. And this is a little wonky in size. So I'm going to take my tool and just kind of straighten it out. Okay. Now see where this overlap is right here? I'm going to come in, I'm going to cut that overlap down. I'm going to cut that there, being careful so it doesn't fly up in my face. And I'm going to cut here. So see, we've got a little bit of overlap there. I love this, Mary. That's awesome. You just finished one. The base wire really hardened and it didn't coil quite as sweetly, but you've done one. That's awesome. Keep practicing. I mean, I've been wire wrapping, like I say, probably for about 30 years, which is crazy. So look at how great this frame looks. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use, I've got the rest of that 24 gauge that I was using earlier. Okay. So let me come in and I'm going to straighten this out with my wire straightener. And I'm going to kind of go to the middle of this. And I'm going to start to wrap. And I'm going to wrap over where it overlaps. And you want that overlap to be pretty wide like that so it doesn't pull out, right? Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Okay. And I'm going to keep going. Now you're going to have a little bit of variance in the thickness of this wire as you wrap the component, because where it comes together, it's doubled, right? Now you can, if you're using an even heavier gauge and you're making this component maybe a little bit smaller, you can butt that component or the ends of that ring up together so you won't have this overlap. But I like doing the overlap, to be honest. These frames, I don't know, way back, do you folks remember Art Jewelry magazine? That was out. It was put out by Art Jewelry, might have been a Kallenbach, like a bead and button magazine situation. It might have been at that publication. The very first issue of Art Jewelry, I did my wire component with freeform wire inside. And that's just how I made these components, just like this. So these wire cages or wire frames that you're doing, you could add things in the center. I think I've shown that copy of Art Jewelry, but it was the first issue of that. So see how it's coming along and I'm wire wrapping it like this? And I can just keep wrapping. And I'm just wrapping tightly. Now let me show you. You could come across if you wanted to and put some beads on that spoke, right? Like that. Okay? So however you want to play around with this. But this is the basic technique to do a frame. Now you can do a frame that's any shape, right? You could get a mandrel that is round and wrap your wire around the mandrel as a base. You could also use something like a large permanent marker or a big marker or a dowel or something like that, right? So with this, where it overlaps, you just want to keep wrapping the overlap because that's how it's going to be secured. And then you just continue on down. And I like having wire going to the left and going to the right. Okay. I like that a lot. Like so. And then if you need to, grab your nylon jaw plier like this and slide it through. Okay? Like this. There we go. See that? And that's just starting to come together really nicely. So again, this is 18 gauge. Sorry, 16 gauge is the base, 24 gauge over the top. Audrey, great question. You certainly can. Like, you can do your wrapping first and then shape your component. But for something like this with the square, where I wanted the square to have really crisp corners, I think it's better to make the component shape first and then wrap. Okay? I think that is actually a little bit easier. Or it looks a little less organic, a little more finished. You could also use a ready-made component. Like we have those really nice hammered components. You could do that. You could use a link from some chain. You can use the base with just about anything, but you could definitely make it yourself. Okay. So let me put this aside for a second. So we've done this coochie coil, we've done this wire wrap frame. Let's get to herringbone. And herringbone is one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of using a pearl for herringbone, though you could use anything really, but there's a pearl. Let me get this here and I'm going to use 24 gauge, I think, for all of this. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 24 gauge here. Okay. I'm going to cut about a foot of wire, maybe a little bit more, maybe 18 inches, because I don't want to run out. That's the thing. And I should have practiced making this once, but I haven't. So bear with me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a wire wrap loop on this side. I'm not going to detail the making of this wire wrap loop because we have this in our skill builders. Okay. But essentially, we're going to make a wire wrap loop. We're going to come up and over the top, and I'm going to wire wrap underneath that loop whatever the length I want my herringbone to be. So I'm going to wrap about, sorry, I'm out of frame. I'm going to wrap about 5. I'm going to wrap about 5 wraps. Hang on. Let me focus this. There we go. That's 1 wrap. 2, let me hold this with my flat nose. Squeeze with the flat nose plier, not the round. There we go. Much better. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's about 5 wraps right there. Okay. Now I'm going to clip this away. Okay. Now I'm going to put the pearl on. Like so. There we go. Go through here. There we are. And I want, so see how that's a little bit longer than we might have as just a regular wire wrap. Okay. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to kind of eyeball it. That looks like it's about the same length here. So I'm going to bend at an angle. I'll go up and over the top, down and under, and then wire wrap it. So yeah, for that coiling, for this, just to be clear, you can actually, you could wrap the wire first, right? Wrap your base. And just like you formed it into that bead, you could form it into any shape you want, really. I formed my base first because I wanted the edges of that square, the corners of the square, to be really nice and crisp. So that's why I did it that way. But you could do it before, you know, wrap before and then shape, or shape and then wrap. Okay. So here's my bead that I've wrapped. This side is a little bit longer, but it's okay, right? Now we're going to keep this wire connected. Let me zoom out, and this is when the fun starts to happen. Okay. I'm going to straighten all of this crinkly wire out. And I'm going to actually remove this background because the background's a little dark. There we go. I want you to see this. Okay. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to go around the side of that pearl. Let me get a little tighter. Or whatever bead, whatever. I'm going to come around. I'm going to wrap it once. And come around this way. Okay. And wrap it again. Now I'm going to bring this wire over the top. And what you want to do is you want to place, like the subsequent wires that you're wrapping, they kind of go next to the wire that precedes it. Can you see that? It's not going to be perfect, but I think it's going to look pretty good. So now I come around after it's around, give it some space, give it some air. All right, it doesn't have to be super tight because you want that wire to sit kind of flat next to each other. Okay, whoops, like that. Now I'll bring it around. We want to make sure that that wire stays straight. Bring it around and herringbone it. So now we've got two. Okay, sorry, it's hard to, there we go. Yes, art jewelry was a Kallenbach. So the same ones, thank you, Dawn, for confirming. The same people that did Bead and Button magazine and the Bead and Button show. Yeah, and Losing Lapidary Journal, same. Those, you know, the heyday of those really wonderful imprint magazines was so great. There's still a few jewelry magazines out there. There's Belle Armoire, which is still out there. And there's, there might be another, but Bead and Button magazine, Art Jewelry magazine, Lapidary Journal, Stringing, all of those special issues that used to come out those have all gone the way of the dodo, which is really unfortunate. It was too bad too, because those of us who are instructors, you know, we would do articles and stuff for them, and you could count on having 5 or 6 articles a year, you know, and that was a nice little income stream. That was good, but unfortunately, articles have gone away. So see how I'm kind of flattening that out? Can you see that? Okay. So I'll zoom out a little bit more. Good. Okay. Good feedback. So let's see. Here is, so I bring the wire in front. So let me wrap this again. Here comes the wire. I actually bring it from the back. No, sorry. I was right. From the front. See how it goes around the front. Wrap it around the back and pass it around the side. Okay. And I'll do the same thing here. Bring it on the top, wrap it around. And once I have all of that little stem, like I had those 5 wraps, once I've had those wraps covered and wrapped, you're good to go. And you want to make sure that you leave enough space. This last one that I did here is a little tight. I haven't made one of these in years, so this one's kind of a practice one. But you can see that doesn't look too bad. And the why we call it a herringbone, let me focus right here so you can see that. We call it herringbone, see, because it has that little herringbone weave right there. Okay. And yes, thank you, of course, Ornament Magazine. Good old Ornament. More of an educational magazine than a project magazine, but still nonetheless lovely. Okay. So the ones on the side are more side by side, correct. So these should kind of conform one side by side, side by side, side by side, like that. Okay. So then I'll come in and I'll clip it like that. I'll press that in. And then I've got that little guy. And then where's my head pin, right? I could dangle that right from the bottom. Sorry. Whoops. Out of focus. There we go. Doesn't that look great? Okay. Really looks good. I like it. So again, when you do this side, if you do a wire that's a little bit heavier, this pearl takes a 24 gauge, but you could also use a bead that has a larger hole and do this with 22 gauge, and that herringbone will flatten out a little bit nicer. Okay, but experiment with this. It's a fun one to do, and you can link these as a bracelet. I think they work out pretty nicely. A glass. Oh, I've got a question from the floor. Yes.
Can you use a crimp tube on wire?
Can I use, so in what capacity would that crimp tube, to hold it together?
Yes.
So it's a good question. So a crimp tube, if we crimp wire.
Like if I had 26 gauge wire and I had a
loop and you wanted to crimp it.
And I want to crimp it.
The answer to that is maybe. When you crimp like a crimp tube or something like that on wire, the metal against metal may break the crimp.
Okay.
So it depends. If the crimp is super heavy, you might be able to do it. But thinner crimps hitting up against the wire, the crimp tube may break.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a question from the floor. Okay, let's do embellishing a disc. Okay, just real quick. And then we'll do our drawings for the last ones. Okay. So what I'm going to do is something that's super, super simple. I'm going to use 22 gauge, I think. And I'm going to use, remember I was doing, there's that kelp mix that I was working with Cynthia. We were doing that when she was here, remember, with her little piece. I'm going to put down a little bit of these, right? And then I'm going to get some 24 gauge. I'm going to zoom out a bit. This is my signature move. My buddy, Mark LaRoe, years ago, he wrote a book called All Wired Up, and this was in there. I did this, and we used to do a class over at Beadshop called Wild About Wire. This was one of the projects in Wild About Wire. And you can use anything. I use a pie disc. I use this a lot. And you can use this wire. Doesn't have to be 24 gauge. It could be 22 gauge. It could be bigger, heavier gauge, thinner gauge. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a pie disc. It could be anything that has a circle, anything that's kind of a component that has a hole that you can pass your wire through, right? This class was a classic. Thanks, JP. It really was. I literally taught, I don't know, thousands and thousands of people how to wire wrap with this. But look at how nice just that wire, that 24 gauge, just looks nice on there. So Sue's asking, what size beads? Sue, you use whatever beads you like on this, okay? So I'm going to wrap these. I'm going to come through and I'm going to use, these are size 8. Okay. So let me, or 8-odd beads here. So let me straighten this wire out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads on this. Okay, I'm going to slide them on. I'm going to slide them into place so they lay nice and flat on the disc, and I'll wrap it around. Okay. And tighten it up. See, if I've got a little bit of a crimp there in my wire, I'll take my wire straightener, straighten everything out. I'm going to skip a wire leg, and I'm going to put this little bead that I made, I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to use an 8-aught at the top and the bottom. Let's see how that looks. Okay. Look at how great that little coil looks on there. Oh, there's our friend Diane. So much fun. It's true, Diane, that class at the San Jose Town and Country Bead Shop, when Town and Country, before it was Santana Row, we had a great little store there. I taught that class, taught the heck out of that wire class, right? So fun. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do just another line of seed beads there. And it is true, Janice, the secret is that the beads not only are small, but they don't poke out too much. But see this coil, that coil pokes out a bit, right? So you just have to kind of do it A, with intention, and B, tight enough so it sits up nicely against the disc. So you can experiment with it for sure, right? So now we're going to come back in. That's a really great technique. Sue, Terry, you can get some washers that you decoupage. That would be cool. And then you can embellish them with some wire like this, right? And I'll go and I'll do one more line. This one, this one, this one, and that one. That Town and Country store was such a sweet store. So nice. It was right by the Books Incorporated there in Town and Country. That's where I spent a lot of my lunch hours. Just across the courtyard. So fun. We had a lot of fun trunk shows. A lot of fun times at that store for sure. Okay, so there we go. I like to do about half, right? I mean, you can embellish the whole thing if you wanted. But I'm going to come in, I'm going to do about half like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over. I'm just going to do some plain wrapping to give it a little bit of dimension, like so. I can put a few more beads on, but what I'm going for is I'm trying to get these two wires to meet back there. Let me put one of these 6/0 or the 6mm. Put that on there. And I'm going to put one more on there. Okay. See there? So those kind of buddy up like this. Okay. So now I've got these two wires right up here. Now I'm ready to do a loop. So I'm just going to treat these two wires as if they were one. I'm going to push them together like this. I'm going to bend them over at an angle. I'm going to get my round nose plier up and over the top to create a loop. Down and under, because I like how this doubled loop kind of looks. Okay. Let me zoom out just a touch so you can kind of see this. Or zoom in. You know what I'm saying. Zoom in a little tighter. So there goes that first wrap. I'm going to go around. This is 24 gauge. You could do this doubled up wrap like this. I think 24 gauge is the ultimate for this. You could go up to 22. You could even do 20, but I think 20 starts to look a little heavy. You know, I'm going to hold that together like that. There we go. So once this is looped, or once this is wrapped like that, I'll come in like so. Then, and I think that bringing these wires together to do the loop just makes it visually a little heavier. You know what I mean? It would work with the single loop with the 24 gauge, but I like how it gives it a little more visual weight. And I think I want this to be turned that way. Okay. So one last thing, some of you will remember this. That doesn't look too bad, right? If I do say so myself. I'll come in and I'm going to use my chain nose. Now you need to make sure, folks, that this wire isn't super tight around here. But I'm going to come in and I'm just going to grab that wire and give it a little 45-degree turn. I like to call that like a lightning bolt, right? It gives it a little bit of character. Just do it wherever you feel like you want a little bit of texture. If the wire doesn't twist on you, don't twist it, all right? Because you'll break the wire, especially this 24 gauge. And I'll come along the back and see if anything needs to be pulled in. We can do a few of them, but get your pliers at a 90-degree angle to this and twist, okay? Like that. Okay, can you see that back there? And that's it. Now this is ready for cord, or this is ready to string with, or to do something like, let me show you this component. Look, this is that same component like I did. That's just like kind of in a horseshoe kind of a configuration. But see, look at this one, has that big kind of that loop like that. But something like this would definitely work. Would definitely work on there, right? Wouldn't that be cool? I think it's good. All right, so today, oh my gosh, you guys, we've done so much today. We still have 2 tubes to draw for, but we've done this here. We've done the shapes, coiling over a shape. We've done this coiled bead, and we've done this embellished disc. So it's a good time. This is a good time to screenshot. I'm going to say here, my friends, to remember, let's all go ahead. If you haven't yet, go ahead and comment #wire. And we're going to go ahead and do another drawing. I've got the 2 right here. This one will be for the melange, and then we'll do the last one, drawing number 5, for the gin and tonic mix there. Okay, so let's do this one for the melange. So remember, #wire. Let me go in. Let me add this back to the stage there. Clem was our last winner. So let's come in and draw again. We've got 149 entries. I love it. So let's see who our winner is this time. Karen K. I'm writing your name on this Post-it. I'm putting that Post-it on these beads. And my friend, what you are going to do is just confirm your mailing address over at info@Beadshop. Okay, and let's do this last one. Let's draw again. Okay, let's see who we have here. This winner, Shelva. Love it. Shelva Banks. This is the 6/0 mix that has the Miyuki pearls in it too. So fun. Perfect for wire. Perfect for these discs. I've got you here. So everybody, do remember, email us at info@beadshop.com. I've got them all lined up here, and we'll send those out today. All right, my friends, just a quick reminder that we have our sale today on wire. You can pop right over to beadshop.com. Today we're live on November 6th, 2024. Enter wire at checkout and save 25% on wire and 15% on head pins and ear wires. That wire coupon code is going to combine with the 10%. Wire's already 10% off for item of the week this week on beadshop.com. But right now, today through midnight Pacific, you'll get an extra percentage that will equal 25% off when you use that wire discount code. Okay, so I really hope that you play around with the wire. It's such a fun, easy, malleable, almost no fuss kind of medium to use, right? I urge you to make just little practice pieces, right? And then once you've made a lot of those practice components, you can put them together in a really fantastic fantastic piece. So this was episode 4 of our wire masterclass. You can find the rest of these episodes. A great place to find them is our YouTube channel. They're under a playlist under masterclasses. This is our 3rd masterclass series. The first one I did a necklace. The second was wrap bracelets. This one is wire. And then after the new year, Janice and I are going to be doing a masterclass on pearls and pearl knotting. So you want to make sure, my friends, to sign up for our newsletter so that you get all of those particulars. And my darlings, have a creative day. We are all going to do our best. We show up every day, make something, and find joy in what you do. I will see you on Friday with Janice. Janice has one of her signature pieces that she's going to make with you. And I know when Janice says, we so appreciate all of your time and attention here at Beadshop, it really matters. And it really does matter. So thank you so much, folks, from wherever you are around this great big beady world. Have a creative day, and we'll see you on Friday. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.